I am never going to support Nigeria's breakup because I lost loved ones during the civil war. Pastor. While some persons in different regions of the country are agitating for Nigeria's breakup, popular Nigerian cleric Sunday Adelaja has revealed why he will never support such. In a Facebook post, Adelaja narrated how he never got to know some of his family members due to the Nigerian civil war that lasted about 3 years. Sharing a photo of the only survival of the war from his family, the pastor laments the loss of lives that occurred during the war. He added that Nigeria doesn't need any form of war or conflict again. Sunday Adelaja urged his followers to learn from history so it will not be repeated. So in his words, he says, "This is one of the reasons I'm never going to support any breakup of Nigeria." In the picture below is one of my brothers that went to the Biafra Nigeria war. He's not the only one in the Adelaja family that fought for the unity of one Nigeria. Unfortunately, he's the only one alive now. He left for the war only 2 months after I was born, and the stories of this horrible war never left our family. Oh wow, there are there are family members that I didn't get to know because of that war, especially those that were just too much, especially from the Biafran side. Or the loss was actually too much, especially on the Biafran side. Nigeria does not need any form of war or similar conflict again. If we don't learn from history, we shall surely repeat it. May Nigeria succeed for the love of God, church, and nation. Dr. Adelaja, or Dr. Sunday Adelaja. All right. Obviously, that is very sad. I totally understandable that PTSD. Again, people have been affected by this in so many ways that you may not really understand. But then would you blame again, it's not really the fault of his uncles because they were defending the side, the Nigerian side, and it's like they have to receive orders and they have to do things that the top ones, the top lads, the top ranking soldiers tell the lower ones to do. I guess that's how the military works. So again, they were probably just taking orders. Things probably got tough and they still continue. So, again, on both sides, people had to fight because of what some elite, because of what a minority, because of a class that a minority had. Now the country, such a shame. It is worthy of note that some people from the southeastern part of the country have been agitating for an independent state of Biafra for a while now. Notable among the groups clamoring for such is IPOB, led by Kanu, who was recently arrested by the federal government of Nigeria. Also, Sunday Igboho from southwestern Nigeria recently started agitating for a Yoruba nation. All right. Someone says, does it mean that if there's a breakup, there must be war? Exactly. 100%. It's like, you need to grow up. Because I'm not like, what kind of irrelevant pride would you have to feel defeated? Like, grow up, okay? We are looking at the majority over the minority. We're looking at what we can do for the greater good. And the greater good is that there should be no war. Why should there be a war? Why should there have to be a bloodshed? And it's like, it's not like as if the pastor is wrong, given our type of government. Or they probably have countries backing them, and they would want to go to war for their pride and whatever it is. So it's just like, it's not, given the kind of government that we have, that it's not unlikely. It is not unlikely that we would have to go to war if Nigeria broke up. That's it. Would you be surprised? No. It does not mean that there has to be a war because of a breakup. That don't make sense. Someone comments says, pastor discussing politics in church. How is that wrong? How is it wrong? Because he's not wrong. He can have his opinion as well as you having your own opinion. Because he gives his opinion in church about politics and what is going on does not mean that he's right all the time. But conversations like this should happen in the church. Absolutely. Because you cannot be ignorant about all these things and lose a grip of reality and understanding that, okay, fine, you can be spiritual in your way, but you also have to work it with the real world, because the real world, not everyone works like that in the real world. To be fully spiritual and just have a lack of, grip and reality and clarity on how the real world works, or just an understanding of your circumstances. You cannot be applying a mentality that would apply to first world countries in terms of protest and human rights to a country like Nigeria. It will not work. Does not mean you should not have human rights, but understanding and giving your circumstances, your the way you go around situations definitely have to be different. Someone says nobody needs your support. You should mind your church business. I think again, I disagree with this. I think you should talk about it. I think in the church we should have conversations like this. This kind of conversations stir up. It forces the congregation to think for themselves. It forces the congregation to understand, to just to apply what they're learning in church. Let's go there. It forces them to apply what they're learning in church and form opinions of their own so they can have independent thinking minds. They think for themselves. That is it. Someone here says, dear Pastor Adelaja, it is sweet to stay far in Ukraine, enjoying free time and offering, talking sweet. Oh, he's in Ukraine. Nigeria is overdue for a breakup, but guess what? It's time. This time it will be peaceful. Just watch and see. I think there's a. I understand. I do understand. I think there's a bias and there's a misunderstanding of Nigerians in the diaspora. Like, I think we understand that of course Nigeria is not the best country. We understand Nigeria is not most efficient in a lot of things. We understand that. I'm not taking that away, and I understand where some Nigerians come from in terms of assuming that if you've left the country, you're living a much better life. It's not necessarily the case. You pay for everything that you have, and it doesn't mean that he himself is not suffering, because again, if Nigeria was good, do you really think there'll be that? Do you think that there'll be that many Nigerians in the diaspora if Nigeria was that good? Of course. So it's like this assumption that of course you've now left the country to another country where we assume that life is better, even though yes, the government seems to be better, life seems to be better, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. There are so many benefits that come with the legalities of how Nigeria's system works. But I'm not saying that it's justifiable. I'm just saying that sometimes using the argument that, oh, you are in this country, you are outside Nigeria, you're in America, you're in Europe, using that as a tactic to disarm a Nigerian outside from having an opinion for what is going on inside his own country is foul and does not make sense. That's how I'm going to end it. Put what you think and don't forget to like and subscribe.